Hi babies, it's me, Allusia. I want to wish all of you an extraordinarily happy Pride. Now, today I want to talk about drag queens, because what else do I know about? Nothing silly. Now, drag queens are fun, fearless, festive, and frisky year-round, but they're a little bit extra special and important during Pride season, because drag queens led the way for us to even have Pride. So today I brought together 4 uniquely talented entertainers, and we're going to go deep in depth and find out what makes these drag queens tick. Their hopes, their fears, their dreams, their evolutions, and everything that they put together to bring you extraordinary drag. So buckle up, hold tight, get a snack, get some hydration, and here we go!
Oh my goodness, look who showed up. It's drag's baddest bitch, Rhea Litre. Hi, Rhea.
Oh my God, it feels good to be home.
Look at this, we got matching backgrounds. We look like yin and yang. Clearly you're a bad girl and I'm just drunk on.
Bad at it.
It's hard being biological these days. Now, are you excited for Pride season?
Well, every year I'm always very excited, but this year I'm excited more than ever because we need it more than ever right now. And so this is the time that we need to really reach out to each other. For all you people that are going through it at home, all of you bitches that are sitting here quarantined, be like, I don't have a parade to go to. Bitch, sit at home, have a parade, and have a cocktail. Okay, we are here.
Absolutely. Now, quarantine has been crazy for all of us, but you were ahead of the curve. You started all-night entertainment to entertain the kids, to give them something to look forward to, which is so important for us during Pride. Tell us about how you led the pack with digital entertainment.
Well, the thing is, you just can't keep a good hoe down. Okay, if you tell me to stop working on that corner, I'm gonna go find another corner to work on. Okay. And you know, it started out as a joke. It started as a joke of conversation between me and my sister Six on the phone. And so we did it. We tried it, and it started with like me, Six, Selena S Titties, and JoJo Quads, and we did this cute little show. And we didn't know that we were going to get the kind of feedback that we did from it. We certainly didn't know that we were spearheading a movement. But I'm so glad that we did, because now we get to see drag all over the world, brought to your living room, and I think that's what the purpose of it was from. We're literally having Pride every night on Instagram Live.
In your living room.
In the living room, bitch, honey.
With your Amazon curtains. And this is what happens from working in nightclubs for so long. You have been doing this for quite a while. When did you start doing drag?
I started doing drag back in 2004, 5. Dabbling, putting a wig on for the first time. Okay. I remember one time I used lipstick for my eyebrows because I didn't know how else to make them look brown. You know what I mean?
You're a mess.
But a couple of years later, you learn the tricks of the trade, and I started getting gigs, and I found out that I really loved doing this. This was my calling, and this is something that I was meant to do. I love to bring people together. I love to have a cocktail. I love being in a gay bar, and I love performing. So,
it's the whole package all wrapped into one. Who knew that work could be self-fulfilling and fun? Now, what was the first gig in drag that you ever got?
Okay, so I first performed at Oasis in Upland back forever ago, Drag Idol. But my first paying gig was at a club called I think it was Tijuana's in Orange County.
Yes, I used to work there too.
DJ Ray Rhodes, thank you so much for my good paying gig.
Yes, honey.
And I remember the performance. I was very much wearing something like this. And I had a new outfit in a decade. I had my homegirl put cornrows in me and my hair because I was giving realism for Madonna's Human Nature.
Yes!
It was all downhill from there.
Now, you've changed and evolved a lot over the years. When I first met you, you were rocking the no wig punk kind of look, like a sporty girl. And now you've blossomed into this like kind of
A
90s.
glamazon whore.
Yes. Tell us about your transformation. Like,
I think that you know, when I didn't wear wigs and I didn't do that, I was trying to set myself apart, and which I did, and it served its purpose. But what I had to realize that in the art of drag, you know, the hair is like the crown on that queen, and it was just another aspect of drag that made you actually do drag. You know what I mean? And so once I started wearing hair and I started getting used to it, I started to really love it because it just added that extra, you know, cherry on top. It just added that much, and I think that I didn't wear hair because I was insecure, you know, and I found security in my drag over time, and it was like, fuck it, bitch, I'm gonna put a wig on. Courtney, I got this good new wig line. She gonna give me one. I'm gonna wear it.
now, what were you doing before drag?
I was doing PR. I was doing PR for the Abbey, Jeffrey Sinker's White Party. I was also doing mainstream stuff like the Blue Man Group and Leia Salonga and the Lipizzaner Stallions. And I feel like that that education that I got from doing these accounts really helped me figure out how to take Rhea to the next level. You know, how to market Rhea Litre as an artist and not just, you know, a dirty drinking clown on the corner of Santa Monica and San Francisco, you know?
You managed to do both.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm like, girl, give me the interview and the margarita.
Hells yeah. Yeah, you've created quite the online presence for yourself, all by yourself. You didn't need help from anyone. You just built it up from scratch.
Well, I do like to say that this has always been a group effort. You know, I am so grateful for the people that have helped me, which is, you know, my sister Willem for doing music with me when, you know, I wasn't even heard of. For Trans K, the band, for Tarja Call asking me to be a part of his latest album, Quarantine Queen, to Marco for making me outfits. So I haven't done it on my own. It has been a group effort. It's been a very House of Litre effort because everyone that I've worked with has become my family. And I love that. I love that I've been able to do it that way because I've really been able to cement some dope friendships in this industry.
It's amazing. We definitely rely on a community. It takes a village to make a clown.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of bitches to make us look this cheap.
Okay. Damn. I've got the season 1 filter. It's disastrous over here.
You look lovely.
Thank you. I put mayonnaise. I put a bit of mayonnaise on the camera lens before I start the interview. It just
you know what I figured out, and I was so dumb because I went vegan for a long time. I'm not vegan anymore. I still eat birds, plants, and fish, but I realized that mayo is like it's eggs. Like, there's no dairy in it. So mayo came back into my life about 3 months ago because I'm a dumb hoe that learned slow. But I'm still reaping the benefits of putting mayo on my sandwiches now. So kudos on your lens.
You may not be the brightest, but you are the loudest. Now, I'm so happy that you brought up Trans K, the band, because I was nuts for that band when I first moved here. It was something that I'd never seen before. They combined powerful drag singers with live bands. How did that all come about?
You know, Detox, Kelly, Mantle, Vicky Vox, Willem, and myself comprised Trans K. And it stemmed off of an OG legendary band that used to play every week at Club Makeup in Los Angeles. And it was that, but it was Alexis Arquette was in the band, and Candy Ass Hollywood was in the band at that time. And it just like kind of evolved. And now we're gonna fast forward to the future because I'm in Vegas now. And I'm in Vegas, yes, I'm in Vegas for a residency right here, downtown Las Vegas. It's called Dragapalooza, and it is all of what Trans K stood for. It is a live singing drag rock show. And we're so excited to bring it to you. It starts August 6th. And I signed a 6-month contract, Kenny, so I'll be here for a while.
Congratulations, Rhea. That's so exciting.
Yes, I'm very, very excited to do this. It was very scary to leave LA, let me just tell you. But it's only for a moment. And don't any of you hoes out here start saying, you know, ooh, you're a local Vegas showgirl now. No, honey. I'm still the LA girl just repping in Vegas. Move over, Mariah. Move over, Celine. Here comes Drag's best bitch.
Now, how many going away parties have we thrown for you over the years? How many times have you left Los Angeles?
Girl, any reason to throw a party. I mean, I will fart and throw a party, okay? I've left a lot. I'm a queen that likes to do things guerrilla style. You and I are not on a TV show that's exposing us to millions of people. So we got to do this guerrilla style, baby.
Amen.
Ain't nobody gonna hold us down. Go to that city, make a new fan, let them know what you're about. And that's what I want to convey to all the young drag entertainers out there. Don't wait for anything to make your career, because what are you waiting for? I'm 35 years old now. And when I started, I was, 20, 21. Had I sat and waited for something to happen, I wouldn't be where I am. So I encourage you all to go out there, make your dreams come true, because they will. There is someone out there that is wanting to do the same thing, and they're willing to help and bring you with them.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
And you've been a force of nature for so long.
Yeah, I've been blowing.
You've always been fantastic at finding new girls and helping them with a bit of a launch pad. So how did you select these girls for your Quarantine Queens pageant?
I sent out a little thing, said, why don't you send me a performance? Why don't you let me know that you want to be here? And I said yes. It was super easy. I picked the first, I think we had 24 girls. I pretty much picked the 24 girls, the first 24 girls that hit me up. Because I wanted it to be fair. I'm here for that. I want to crown a bitch. I want to give a girl the strength to know that she's doing the right thing, that drag is important, and that what they're doing is important. And the best way to do that is to celebrate them. And what's the best way to celebrate them? Crown a hoe.
She's crowning.
Somebody get her.
This isn't the first time you've set up something to select winners. You had an award show years ago, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I sure did. The Top Awards.
Yes. Tell us more about that.
It was, shining light on the tops in our industry.
There's
and
no
by
tops in this
the
industry.
tops of everything. I gave away the top song of the year, the top bottom of the year, the top club, the top bar. And really what it was a way for me to give my friends awards for entertaining me all year long.
Well, thank you.
But it was fun. It was really fun. And it honestly, it did exactly what we were just talking about. It gave the people that work in nightlife a little fucking, here, bitch, thanks for doing that. Thanks for continuously working with us. Thanks for the cocktail every night. Thank you for inspiring me every day.
Hallelujah. And a little encouragement goes a long way. Now, what advice would you give to young girls starting out in this industry?
Find out who you are and what your message is. Find out why you want to do drag. Find out what it is that sets you apart from other queens. And it's hard at this point. There are 500 million drag queens in the world. And now it comes to the point of okay, what do you have to offer? What do you have something special? Do you have something special about you? What can you do to make people go, damn, I want to go to her show? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think it's just being authentic, being authentically you. And let's not forget that us drag queens, we're here to create a political statement, and we were here to fight. We were here to be the soldiers of our community. So keep that in mind. It's not all just about, lip syncing a Kim Petras song at a bar. you stand for a lot, and you come from a long legacy of very powerful queens and performers. So if you're going to be part of this, bitch, make sure that you're doing your part to stand your ground.
Well said, honey. Now, before we go, I want to know, tell the kids where they can find your music, find your media, future competitions, what might be coming up. Tell us again about your Vegas residency, where that is, how to get tickets to it.
Okay, well, my name is Rhea Litre, and if it's too hard to type or pronounce, you can just use Drag's Baddest Bitch. You'll find me. Come out and see me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Quarantine Queen Drag Show on Instagram. And we have our Las Vegas residency of Dragapalooza debuting on August 6th at the Fremont Experience here in Las Vegas. So come and see us, bitch, because everything that happens in Vegas, what?
Stays in Vegas!
Yes.
Drag's Baddest Bitch, thank you so much, Rhea Litre, for joining us and spreading your wisdom and your legs. Bye.
I love you, Lou.
Well, I love our next guest right here, right now. She is one of the most beautiful women to ever grace this earth. Please welcome Sasha Colby. Hello, Sasha, baby. How are you?
Angel, my baby, my love, I miss you so much.
Baby, I miss you. This quarantine is killing me. I don't get to see your beautiful face.
Quarantine, boo. Oh my God. My God.
Sasha is joining us from, she just got out of the world famous Abbey. A lot of us local girls like to hang out there. And she is fresh off duty and jumping right in like the trooper that she is for this interview.
I sure am. Yes, I'm just back in the WeHo zone. It's pretty interesting. We're trying to figure out how to stay drunk and like sit down and not move around, not try to keep the distance. But it's really hard when you like getting tipsy.
Right, and it's hard when you're a people person.
It's like get drunk and stay still. You good luck.
Right. In what world?
In what world?
So you're out and about in West Hollywood right now, our glamorous home. And you've been having to wear a mask. So how is that working for you out being a woman of the people, communicating through a mask?
I think everybody's just really grateful for the little that we do have. Like it's like baby steps right now. And we're just really grateful for it.
Anything is better than nothing, right?
I mean, that's what they assume.
Now, I know how much you love performing. Have you been able to perform at all while we've been in lockdown?
You know, I've been doing shows all throughout my house. Nobody sees it, but I've been doing shows constantly. No, I've actually been really fortunate to be one of the people that has been able to work, being independent contractors as drag queens and entertainers. A lot of us weren't able to get unemployment, even though we are hardworking gals. So we started to do the online thing, and it's actually helped me in a lot of ways. Performing online is to reach a lot of people that wouldn't be at the clubs that we're at. So like we get to reach kids that couldn't come into the nightclubs that can watch our show now, and people all over the world that maybe aren't in LA that can see our show. So I feel that we get to reach a lot more people, and it's also my therapy. Like it really helps the demons come out in the head when we're going through, you know, and they're really loud. So
don't I know it?
In order to quiet them, I've learned to like work it out through a number. So a lot of my numbers are getting pretty dark and like pretty like heavy and a lot of crying, but felt it was cathartic and much needed.
Excellent. So you approach drag entertainment as catharsis and therapy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, I want to know a little bit about the history of Sasha Colby. So when was the first drag show that you did?
Oh, my goodness. The first drag performance I ever did, I was about, I think I was 17. And I was lying to get into the 18 and over place. And I think it was my 18th birthday. And I was actually a boy dancer.
Oh.
At a nightclub, and I asked him if I could like perform for my birthday as a girl. So they let me, and I had like 2 of my dancer friends, and we like, I think we did Kevin Aviant's Dindada.
Yes, throwback.
So you know the era of that. It was a full-on like
Yes.
Mohawk moment. Yeah, I think that was maybe like 2003, 2004. Yeah, good times. Never look back.
And this, amen to that. Now, were you living in Hawaii at the time, or were you here in the
I was in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii till about 23. Then I moved to Chicago.
Okay,
So,
Chicago.
Yeah, and I got the job at the Baton Show Lounge, which is one of like the oldest female impersonation clubs in the country. It's been around for about 50 years.
Okay.
And yeah, and the owner of the Baton in Chicago actually owns Miss Continental, which I ended up winning in 2012. Not after a lot of hard work and like learning from a lot of my cast members who are former Miss Continentals. So I got to like go to what I call it like showgirl school or drag university, you know, like I really got to learn from the best, the good and the bad of what to do and what not to do, you know?
Absolutely.
And it's all by example, for sure.
Now, you're like a lot of us, you started in the industry before Drag Race was a thing. What kind of differences have you seen in the industry since that show started?
Well, I definitely, after, like, since I've been doing drag since about, like, the early 2000s, it was definitely felt more like a fringe art form back then. It felt like a safe queer space for us to just, like, let loose and be creative, where now it's a machine. It's a money-making machine, and we're looked at as commodities, as brands, you know? And a lot of these kids that are like growing up wanting to do drag, they're not doing drag. I'm not saying it's a bad motive or a wrong motive, but the reason why they do it is a lot different than when we started, which was we needed to find our tribe. We needed to find somebody that like understood us, that spoke our language, that like dressed like us. And we found that in the gay scene, and then to see like drag and your creativity being put forth, that's what drives us to perform. Where a lot of the drag now is based on getting $100,000 and the booking fee and a seat at the red carpet or whatever. So that's different. The motivation isn't there, and I think you need substance in order to have this art form be relevant, and especially now, you have to have your art reflect what the world is going on. You know, especially with COVID, Black Lives Matter. All these things can be used as art, and I think a lot of the drag queens that are coming up now, they're not understanding that connection. They're not getting that we're actually commentators on pop culture and current events and how to deal with things and making fun of it, where they just want to like learn how to do a YouTube video and like do their makeup and then dress in a wig that they saw 9 other girls in. And there's no fun in that.
Absolutely. Well said, honey.
Did I read enough?
You are a fountain of wisdom, Sasha.
I just know a lot of big words.
And you managed to get them out of your mouth without slurring.
Which you know, it's kind of hard for me to keep it in my mouth.
That's why I got you in the power.
Yes.
Now, one thing that I wanted to do during this interview is you are so well known for your dance moves, for your sexiness, for your hair flips. Now, I know that you're on the sidewalk, but can you teach me how to hair flip?
Okay.
Make a scene, Sasha Colby. Don't be scared.
You have some icy hot on hand, because the number one thing is you can't do this unsupervised. Because some people will hurt their necks, for sure. And
okay.
It came
That's your disclaimer, kids. You hear that at home. Warm up. Ask a professional. Research before you do. Don't just go shaking your head around unless you have great health insurance.
Yes. And to be quite honest, the hair flips came as a need of necessity, because it was just getting stuck to my hair. And so I would just kind of like, and then I would see how it would, and then I would, And it was literally because I'm hot. So I'm like holding up so I can breathe. But then I tried to make it look sexy.
Okay. I love this
Think
little bit
about
of
it.
background.
A lot of people, they think they have to do a full circle. But if you just go with the way, like, it's almost like a half circle. Like a half moon. And it's all about getting the hair away from your face. If you just think about getting the hair away from your face, and if the hair's going this way, flip it over. You know, and if you can't get it because something's on, you pick it up, you put it in the air, and you hope real hard that it doesn't lift off of your scalp.
Now, for those of us that don't have natural hair, you've got to make sure that that is glued all the way down.
Yes. Very important. I was gonna say, take your
Okay.
index finger and hold on.
Obviously, I planned ahead. I'm totally wearing the right wig for this.
Yes.
To get that. And then,
Yes. You separate.
is that sexy? And then,
Yes. See, you got that part. Yep.
girl, this is why I wear short hair, because I can't handle that up on my lips.
Like the little frantic things going on.
Oh, so much. Now, if you had to give one piece of fashion advice for new girls starting out, what would it be?
When you buy your shoes, practice in them. For goodness sake, please practice in your heels before you come out. Nobody needs to see Bambi. First time walking, baby. You do dishes. You go and vacuum in your house, and you make them feel like they're part of your foot. For real. Like, that's the most important part, because once you understand the power of a heel is to like have good posture, to stand correctly, and then you command attention as a woman, as a performer. So that's like real power.
Directly from her mouth to your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that you give some appreciation. Miss Sasha, tell us where we can find your information, your media, your performances that are going to be coming up, and how to follow you in general.
Awesome. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is Sasha Colby, SASHA COLBY. You can also follow me at any street corner. You can follow me to the Abbey. Right now, I'm about to do on Tuesday. It's Chicago Pride, their digital Pride on Tuesday. So go and check them out. Shea Coulee is hosting it, and it's going to be an amazing time. All our proceeds are being donated to Black Lives Matter. And then I'm actually doing a Pride show for Milan in Italy, which is so amazing. We get to reach a lot of people, and they don't have to pay for my airfare, so I think that's why they asked.
Thank you, my angel, Sasha Colby, for joining us. Love you, baby.
Thank you so much. I love you. Bye,
I hope I
all.
see you soon. Bye, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today with the extraordinarily talented Miss Calpernia Addams. Now, Calpernia is a legendary status individual in this industry, honey. She's been doing this for 384,000 years. She invented glam, honey. She is #1 stun. Hi, Calpernia. How are you, darling?
Hi, I'm fantabulous. How are you, Allusia?
I am just happy to see your face.
I've just realized I did 2 little buns, but one of them uses like a green scrunchie, and so I think one of my buns has disappeared. So I look lopsided.
Well,
which
you know, it's a look. You're a technical wizard,
Yes.
Calpernia.
I've spared no effort in coming to you today.
Oh, that is amazing. Well, darling, now you have done so many different things over your career. You're an actress, a musician, a drag chanteuse, high-class hooker, model extraordinaire. Now, I want to know, how long have you been doing drag shows, per se?
Dear God, I probably started in 94, 95, which is probably before you were born.
Well, I appreciate
ma'am.
that. That's just the Botox.
Hey, parts of me are only 5 or 6 years old, so
Still in the factory warranty.
Oh, aftermarket parts. But I started funny enough. I started at this huge 40,000 square foot club in Nashville with a cast of goddesses, and my first job there was running the spotlight. So I would sit there all night, just keeping the light on these goddesses. And really, that was my training ground because I had to watch every move of every show for a long time.
Oh, interesting. I never knew that you did tech behind the scenes.
Well, you know me, I was a bit of a Quasimodo back then, so they put me up in the tower behind the scenes. I wasn't that pretty, but I learned a lot back then. And before you knew it, I was volunteering for the Wednesday night talent night shows and everything, and I just kept winning and winning and winning, and finally they were like, they slowly brought me on, and before you knew it, I was on cast at the largest gay-owned and operated bar in the United States for many years.
Fantastic. So you just kind of blew up right out of the water.
I was really weird.
What?
This was this was the 90s, and in current days, I love doing a lot of vintage Hollywood stuff, but back then I was doing weird stuff like Lords of Acid and like crazy. I would make my own remixes of songs like on my computer and just add in all this crazy stuff. So back then, everybody else was doing Whitney and Britney. It was Whitney, Britney, Whitney, Britney, and so anybody doing something different got some attention.
Well, you know how to soak up the attention, don't you, darling?
It's the sponge. I'm wearing one now.
Fantastic. I can smell it through the computer. Now, you had a church background. So was it difficult telling your family that you were doing drag shows?
Ooh, well, when I was in the military for several years as a field medical combat specialist in the first Gulf War with the Navy and Marines. What? And
Put that in your title.
when I got out of the military, yes, I've always been killing them, whether it was in the military or on stage. But when I got back from the war, I had met a bunch of lesbians in the military, shocker, and they had kind of gotten me to, be more confident in myself as a queer person. So I came out to my parents. It went terrible, and we didn't talk for years. Nowadays, we're doing a lot better. They're very loving and cool, but there were years that we just didn't talk at all.
So it does get better.
Yeah, much as I hate to repeat platitudes, it did get better for me.
Well, that's inspirational. It gives hope for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, virtually, my mom was like Carrie's mom in the movie Carrie. So if that can get better, you've got hope.
So you kind of change their minds and their worldviews a little bit.
I think by withholding and disappearing for many years, they realize that we've either got to be cool or we're gonna die without knowing our child and having our child in our life. So they made the bigger choice and decided to try a little harder. Well, and actually, I am the best out of my three siblings.
Well, I don't doubt that. I tried that approach with my boyfriends, but that never worked.
I'm sure you're the best at many rare and exotic things with your boyfriends.
Well, that's for a different show. This is Pride. We have to keep it family friendly.
Of course.
Now, when I first met you, like 11 years ago, I think, at Hamburger Mary's in West Hollywood, you were doing like a drag/burlesque show. Now, is that something you've always combined, is the sensual arts along with more camp?
What I loved about that, what I loved about that was that, I do consider myself a woman and I identify as a woman, but I have no illusions about the fact that I'm trans and had to go through that journey. And I felt like combining burlesque and drag was a neat sort of amalgamation of what I consider my identity, because women like Cher and Bette Midler and Gaga, they're doing drag basically, and women who do burlesque are doing drag, and bringing in queens and burlesque artists and all that, it really, I felt like, reflected where my heart was.
Fantastic. So you've kept that unique viewpoint of performance throughout all your years of entertaining.
I just try to bring my little talents, such as they are. There's other girls like yourself who are great comedians, who are great actresses. There are some girls who are incredible dancers and do all those death drops and things. I don't necessarily have the skill sets that everyone else does, so I just focus on what I got.
Well, that is true. I have watched you get tangled in your own dress and fall down before. So it's
blackout drunk. Okay.
It's good that you can still rest on your looks, Calpernia.
Well, now, my looks are at rest, I think.
Well, just keep getting that filler, honey. It works for all of us. It happens to all of us at shows. We get groped inappropriately. How do you handle that? What do you do in response?
Well, it's funny, in the early years, I suppose I had so little self-confidence and so little self-worth, because we as queens, as queers, as trans people, we usually don't value ourselves at all, and we have very low self-esteem. So I would just shrug it off and laugh it off, and sometimes, as embarrassing as it is, I would feel flattered by the attention. And looking back on it now as a more empowered person who understands their worth and self-value and everything, I will, take their hands away. And as an entertainer and a showgirl, I choose, it's my personal choice not to make a really negative scene out of it, like, rape, don't touch, oh, police, or anything. I choose not to do that with it, but I do control their hands, move them away, and be like, be careful, honey, that it's my body.
That's a great way to approach it. I light fires. Now, I want to know.
Well, if you like being touched, then go for it.
No, I got felonies because of that. Do you ever get stalker fans?
Oh, yes. I've had some real humdingers, from all the way from people like, I'm going to show up at your address with a baseball bat and kill you. Which not so much. Yeah. And I was like, really? What are you wearing? How big's your baseball bat, baby?
Stars and garters.
But then also, I find that if somebody comes on really strong, like a fire hose, if somebody comes on like a fire hose, that adoration, if you don't do exactly what they want, that adoration can 180 into an equal amount of hate and anger. So sometimes if a fan is just like, oh my God, I love you so much, I mean, you're everything to me, I'm walking on eggshells, because I know if I don't do exactly what they want, that's going to 180 into, I hate you so much, you're the worst thing in the world, I hate you. I try to tread carefully.
It gets a bit spooky.
Yeah, I imagine you must have a lot of stalkers, so many people out there looking for your time and attention. You couldn't possibly fulfill all of their needs.
Yes, I'm going to go with that. Now, you've been doing drag since '94, or performing in clubs and arenas and things like that since the '90s. In what ways do you think the drag scene has shifted over the years?
Well, there used to be 3 schools of drag. In Southern drag was kind of based on beauty pageants, and the girls in Southern drag, they would pick names that were like a regular woman's name, you know, like Dominique, you know, Chappelle or whatever. And they would try to look as pretty as possible, as much like a woman as possible, and sort of copy that beauty pageant ideal. And then in New York, it was the ball scene. So there was a lot of sort of haute couture and fashion influence, but they wouldn't always wear, you know, breast forms, or they wouldn't always pad their hips and things like that. And then on the West Coast, it was a lot more like genderqueer stuff, where, you know, they'd have a beard with glitter but still be in a dress, or they were really deconstructing the whole thing. And with the advent of things like Drag Race and YouTube and all that, there's a lot more crossover. And New York was also a lot of Broadway queens, theater queens and stuff. What's really changed it all, though, has really been RuPaul's Drag Race. And the good of it, I think, is that it's opened people's minds to drag as an art form. You know, now every 16-year-old girl knows that probably some of the coolest people in the world are drag queens. But the bad side of it is that it has really shut down the underground queer performance scene for queens who haven't been on the show. If you haven't been on Drag Race, you are at a severe disadvantage for getting booked and getting paid. And I've seen that personally. I've seen it with a lot of girls. So I think that's a shame. And I especially hope Drag Race will open up to trans contestants. Not for me. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like being judged on anything at this point. But I'm kind of like, I don't want to be on any reality show where somebody's judging me, because I'm like, who the hell are you?
Very bad.
Whatever. But you know, I do hope it opens up, or something equally as influential comes along that lets trans queens get out there and get some of that money and stage time.
Now, we're almost out of time, but before we go, I want to know, what is the best piece of advice that you could give to a young queen starting out in the business?
Gosh, well, I would say just do your homework, you know, really figure out what moves you and what excites you, and study the people who do that well, and then just kind of follow your heart. Don't copycat someone exactly. Follow your heart and create the art and the images that move you, and that's going to create something unique that I think audiences will be drawn to, and you'll be able to build a career on that.
I'll make a note of that, Calpernia. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Miss Calpernia Addams. Darling, tell us where we can find your music, your shows, your info, and your home pornography videos.
Well, OnlyFans / no, I'm just kidding. I if Zoom is working, you can see above me. It's just at CALPERNIA on Venmo, PayPal.me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, any of them, even gmail.com. Say howdy if you must. And just say hello. Let's hang out. Let's be friends.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Calpernia. I'll be at your house in an hour with a baseball bat.
Please do. Lube it up.
Stay delicious, darling.
Mwah. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. I just can't contain myself for our next guest from season 10 and season something of All Stars of RuPaul's Drag Race. Welcome, Mayhem Miller.
Hi.
Hi, baby. Look at you. You look just like yourself.
I mean, I'm getting there. Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
We've worked together so many times, but I've never watched you paint before.
Well, look at, you're about to learn a little something new today.
Now, teach me how to blend. I mean, I wake up looking like this, and you do all that.
I try to do as less as possible because, I don't want it to be intimidating for people.
That is so gracious of you. Now, our good friend Miss Vicky Box has called you a face chart before, and you
Yes.
are known as one of the most amazing queens of makeup. Now, how did you figure all this out? Did you just play around, or did you take classes?
No, I always wanted to go to makeup school, but I couldn't afford it. So I bought one of the Kevin Kwan books, and after that, I just like read it from cover to cover, back and forth, 18,000 different times, and I just started teaching myself and just trial and error. You know how it goes. Sometimes something works, sometimes you don't. You know not to do it again or do it more often. So
I never experiment because I don't need the stress. You do something different every time. Now, one of your most popular looks was Diva Plava Laguna from Fifth Element. Now, what popped into your head to make you do that character?
You know what? When that movie first came out, I was in school. I was in choir. I studied classical music all my life, basically. And when that movie came out, I was like, "Oh my God, this is the shit." And so I would sing it to myself all the time. And then once I got into drag in my later years, I was like, "No one has ever done this. Why has no one done this?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do it." So that's what happened. I ended up doing it, and it's become like one of my signature numbers now.
Now, you said you were singing it to yourself at home. Do you sing opera?
I do.
I've heard you sing, but never opera. Can you give us a taste?
No, oh my God, no,
Come on, girl, let's put you on the spot.
No, I have not warmed up. It's been a long day.
Well, then I expect the next time I see you.
Let me see if I remember something. Lo so temi morire.
Oh, okay, girl.
Wait, did we break up?
We broke up, but we got back together, honey. We'll always get back together.
Lo so temi morire. Che volete?
Oh, girl, every time you start singing, your camera cuts out. I think it's too much.
I know.
You're
Wait,
moving the camera.
Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Hold on.
I guess she'll be back soon. I hope it's a surprise. She'll be back any second. Isn't this thrilling, kids? Just stare at my beautiful bangs while we're waiting. We can fix this in post, right? We'll just edit this part out. We have a great view of Mayhem Miller's makeup room in her luxurious riverside mansion. Fantastic. This will probably be the best part of the interview, right, kids? So that was just a taste of Mayhem Miller's vocal talents. Honey, you're like an onion. I just keep unraveling brand new talents about you. Are you like
known me forever?
I know, like about a decade now, right?
Yeah.
Girl, I've been after you this whole
easily.
time. Now, so when did you start drag?
I started in 2002.
Okay, so about a year after I started. So been in the game for almost 20 years. How has it changed for you over the years?
You know what? When I first started, it was just for fun. I just wanted to go out and be pretty one night and just hang out with the girls and just have fun. And then I got a taste of the stage one night and was like, oh, wait a minute. I think I'm gonna stick with this for a minute, and you can make some money. I was like, oh yeah. So back then it wasn't serious. It wasn't a career. It was just a hobby. Now drag is catapulted into this mega industry, and it's not just drag queens. Designers are involved, hairstylists and makeup artists are involved, and it's just there's so much happening in this industry, and it's much bigger than I ever thought it would be.
Right. Back in the day, it was just a little dive bar with 2 drink tickets and $20.
Yeah. we'll be so happy just to get free drinks for the night. We're like, yeah, we'll do drag all night. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Open bar, fine.
I love how many queens that I meet that are career queens now that started as just a hobby, just for fun. How grand.
And now look.
And now you've been on Drag Race not once, but twice. How has that changed for you? Has it changed your outlook on drag or your career?
Not really. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like being in high school and going to summer school. You know, you might finish all your courses that summer, but you still got to go back to school in the fall. So like it just feels like just an extension of what I started with Drag Race. It's been more growth and discovery of self, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me. So it's been a great experience both times around.
And you traveled quite a bit before Drag Race. Have you been traveling a lot more since?
Girl, now you knew I was traveling beforehand, but now, like, I think I know each airport in the United States thoroughly, girl. I know how to navigate to get me to what I need to eat in time to make it to a gate. I know where the good bathrooms are, where you can take a dump in secret. I know it all, honey. It's been a blessing to be able to see the world doing something that I love.
That's fantastic. Now, has there ever been a time when you've landed late and you had to rush to the gig?
Yes.
Okay.
I have had to do my makeup on planes.
Okay.
I've had to fly in drag. I've had to leave the airport, go straight to the club, doing my makeup in whoever's car is picking me up, and get right on stage. Like, there's been some traveling nightmares for me. And of course, you've known, like, the airport likes to lose my luggage all the time.
Constantly. I have never met a queen that's gotten their luggage lost more than you.
It's crazy.
But you always make it work somehow.
I will normally carry my makeup on me now onto the plane, so at least I could throw on some makeup. I might not have no wigs or no pads, no tits, but I could at least have a pretty face on.
And that's half the battle.
Honey.
Now, you've gotten a lot of doors opened by being on Drag Race, and you've done some acting work. Who is the favorite celebrity that you've gotten the chance to work with so far? Other than me, obviously.
Favorite celeb. You know what? Lonnie Love was my favorite.
Okay, fierce.
Yeah, I did Lonnie Love's makeup for Celebrity Drag Race, and she was just so easy to work with. And like, I was doing her makeup, and I told her, you know, like, is there anything in particular you want? What are you trying to accomplish? Any like specific looks? And she was like, no, I trust you. Go ahead and do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, okay. Because it's really different for celebrities because they have so much control of their image. So you don't want to upset them by taking them too far. Right. So I was just like painting her pretty, and she was like looking in the mirror, and I'm all, are you all right? She's like, bitch, if you don't put some more on me, I want to be a queen, bitch. I said, wait, what? She's like, bitch. She's like, I want to be contoured and highlight for the gods. I said, well, let me go on in then.
Okay.
She was my favorite person to work with.
That's fantastic. Those of you tuning in that might not know Mayhem's history, me and her got to do this movie called Cherry Pop together, along with Detox, Bob the Drag Queen, Misty Violet,
Latrice.
Latrice, yes, directed by Asad Yaqub. Was that your first foray into acting?
Not into acting, but first like film.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I've always acted, but I never did it on that scale. That was the first time I was like, oh my God, I'm like legit a movie star.
Yes. Now, before we wrap up, I want to know, do you have any sage advice for new girls starting out?
Oh my gosh, of course. I love to tell new kids, have fun. If you're doing drag because you want to be famous and be on television, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You should be wanting to do drag because you enjoy the art and you have something to share with the world, whether that's just hanging out at a bar and having a good time with friends, or, you know, getting up on a stage and doing a little dance. We all have something, we all have a story, we all have something to share, and that's how we use our drag to express ourselves. So do it for the fun of it.
Amen. And would you say, in your experience, the girls that do it for the love are the ones that stick around?
The ones that do it for love always stick around. They're the ones that have longevity.
You heard it from Miss Mayhem Miller, season 10 and season something of RuPaul's Drag Race started. Now, for people tuning in, tell us how we can find your music, find your tour dates, and everything about you.
You can find me on at the Only Mayhem on every social media platform. You can find my music on Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, all that. And you can also buy merch. I have merchandise available at Drag Queen Merch, and just look up my name and it's all there.
Oh, you're making masks now too, right?
I am. Oh. I am. Yes. And they
I'm
have my face on
tonight.
it.
Yes.
They say drama.
We're all in quarantine, so get a Mayhem Miller mask, follow her on her social media, buy her music so you can dance in your living room. Thank you, Mayhem, so much for joining us. Mwah, I love you, baby.
Thanks for having me, my love. Mwah.
Oh my goodness, my darlings, my angels, my babies. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to our Pride Drag Extravaganza interview segment. I hope that everyone has the most amazing Pride ever. We are all still unified as one, even though things might keep us separate. We can still rely on each other as a community. I want you to love yourselves, love each other, wash your hands, wear a mask, protect the ones that you love. I want to thank Mayhem Miller, Calpernia, Addams, Sasha Colby, Rhea Litre, our amazing interviewees today. I hope that they gave you some insight that you can apply to the rest of your life, I suppose. My name is Allusia. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah! Stay dangerous.